Hello friends, today I will talk about experience interview questions. So let's begin without wasting our time. But first of all, press the bell icon, subscribe my channel if you not subscribe, and like after watch the complete video. So let's start. So guys, today I will discuss about SQL interview questions. SQL interview questions that is most important in if you are going for the Java interview, Python interview, and .NET interview. Like in backend, you are using SQL, Oracle, MySQL, so you have to learn about the SQL. It is a very most important question. So start from first. Stored procedure. What is stored procedure? Means whenever you want to reuse your code, I'm not exploring the answer of stored procedure, but I will discuss little bit only. You have to learn by yourself, by online or practically, whatever you want to choose a way to learn. But yes, if you want to crack interview, so you have to learn and watch the video till the end. So what is stored procedure? Stored procedure is basically used in SQL server to reuse your code. Like whenever you want to perform a task like select statement, insert, delete, update, so just write a code inside stored procedure, create stored procedure, and whenever you want to perform that task, just execute that stored procedure. You don't need to write again query for that. So that is the basic concept of stored procedure. Next is function and type of functions. Type of functions means it's a predefined function and user defined function. So there are many functions inside the SQLs which is provided by the Microsoft. But yes, you can create your own custom functions according to your requirement. Next question is difference between SP and function. SP means store procedure and function. What is the difference between? I would like to say store procedure like make a transaction, like create a transaction inside that, but function only return one value. Store procedure can return multiple values. Inside the function we cannot use store procedure, but yes, in store procedure we can use functions. What is triggers? Triggers is most important thing in SQL. So interviewer can ask you to what is triggers. Triggers like whenever you want to inserting data inside table, or you want to delete, you want to update. In that respective, you want to update another table, so you can use trigger created on the table. So whenever you want to create a trigger, you want to choose first the table in which you are performing the task, performing the operations. Okay, next point is views. Views basically means like a view, something view. So view like a virtual table inside a database. We only use view to select statement. If you have a like 20 columns inside your table, you want to show only 10 columns, you have to use view and provide whom to who wants to select, because basically view you use to security purpose, like restrict to user that can only view the particular column. Joins joins are basically very important concept in SQL. Like whenever you have two tables, you want to select the data, you can join both table according the ID basis. Like if you are using primary key and you are using that primary key as the foreign key in another table, so there the join you can use primary key and foreign key and unique key. The difference: primary key, like whenever you want to create that key, that will be only unique, that you want to identify as a uniquely, so you can use. Like if you were creating some records or like employee table, inside that to create employee ID as a primary key, in that you can denote the ID of this employee is this. And unique key means if you want to make uniqueness, like that employee email ID, that username, you want to create unique only, in that case you can use unique. And foreign key, whenever your primary key make a relationship between another table, that called foreign key. Foreign key not mandatory to create, but yes, if you want to restrict that parent node cannot be deleted if data exists in another table, so make a constraint between both of tables. That is the basic things. Index, cluster and non-cluster index. Whenever you create a primary key, cluster index automatically created. But yes, non-cluster index we can create before we have to see the execution plan. After that you can create non-cluster index in another column. So first of all, select your statement. Like if you are selecting some records and you have write down the query, just select that query and see the execution plan. If required, then you can create non-cluster index. Cluster index create only one in a table, but by default it create when create a primary key. Varchar and varchar difference between. So varchar hold the all. Like if you are choosing varchar and you pass the 20 character inside that, and after that you are inserting 21 character, it will throw an exception that the length is exceeded, so you cannot insert that. But in varchar case, if you are using 20 characters and you are inserting 21 characters, that time 20 characters will insert, one character will not insert. It will not throw an exception, it will work properly. But if you are using varchar as a 20 character and you are inserting 10 character, it will hold only 10 character memory. But inside varchar, if you are creating 20 characters and you are inserting 10 characters, it will hold all the memory of 20 characters. So these basic difference between both our data types. Normalization forms. Normalization, there are many types of first enough, second enough, third enough, polyglot enough. So in normalization form, if you have a table and that table contains 50 columns, so you have to think about that table. How can you split that table in separation, like pieces of tables, so you can manage all those things? Because when you select that table or insert data, it will reduce, degrade the performance. If you normalize that thing, only select those columns, you can perform the task. So basically normalization is split the table in different forms according to your data. sp help sp helps provide all the commands about whatever you want to do by command. It will show the all commands, like if you are using sp help text and the procedure name, the procedure all schema will show in the message. So there are many features of this. Use sp help, it will help to, it will show the command whatever, which type of command and what are the use of that command. Temp table is basically two types. One is local and second is global. So local is within the scope by using single hash, and double hash, that is global. You can access that table in new tab. But yes, if your connection, if you closes both of tabs, the table will be dropped automatically. We don't need to drop. Okay. Table valued and table variables. Table variables means if you want to select a data or pass the data, you can as a in bulk format. Like if you have a data table inside thousands of records, you want to send pass as a parameter, that time you can use a table variable, because table variable holds a table type of data. In table valued means it will return multiple rows. Like if you are using function, a function returns only one, but in table valued functions that will return multiple rows. If you sending a string, passing a string with comma separated, when you use this function, that comma will be removed. Like if you remove the comma and only the particular string after that comma as an array, it will select. Magic table, this is a basically which you are using inside the trigger, that table called magic table, like inserted, deleted. DML, DCL, DDL and TCL. DML means data manipulation language, DDL data definition language. So like this you can search on this topic. Data DDL, create and alter, like these things. Data manipulation language, like truncate, delete, like this. Indexer, that is I have already discussed, like cluster, not cluster. Drop and truncate, what is the difference between drop and truncate? So what I'm just describe little bit about it, but you have to go through the online and type this question and search and deep analysis about it. That time you can understand what is exactly happening. So drop and truncate. Whenever you use drop, it will drop all tables, but inside you are using truncate, it will delete all the records and reset the identity and delete the logs. Cursor. Whenever you want to use loop inside your processor, you can use cursor. Hash and double hash, that is local and variable global table. Nth salary find. If you want to find nth highest salary inside your table, you can use row number, you can use city, dense rank. There are many types of ways you can find it. Try catch in SQL. Whenever you want to trace log, like error log, you want to tracing inside your database, so you can use try catch, try begin, try end, catch begin, catch end. Inside you can get the error. Transactions in SQL. Whenever you are performing some transaction like delete, insert, update, you have to use transaction. Like if you have two table and you are just inserting in one table data and updating second table data, if you are not maintaining is this, and first table data inserted successfully, but while it updating in second table it throws an exception, so second table data is not updated, but in first table data it is inserted successfully. That time data will be lost or like mix up something that is not a like a good. So if you maintaining transaction, whenever it throws an exception or procedure throwing an error, so it will roll back data. Like whenever everything going smoothly and finalize everything inserted, deleted, updated successfully, then the commit. Otherwise if your restore procedure or query throwing the exception, you will be write the rollback, then the data will roll back and it will not inserting in or inserted in table or updated something like that. Already work discuss about the temp table, global and local. Magic table is also. Constraints means if you want to map a key one table to another table, that is constant, because if constant is exist, you cannot delete directly the rows. You can delete child rows, not parent rows. Insert, update, delete, you know about it. Insert means new data inserted in your table. Update means on that data we can modification, and delete, we are just deleting that row, that data. Table variable we are also discussed. Derived table means like whenever you selecting a table, like you are selecting something, that scope is a derived table, that is called virtual table. After that it will like not exist. At that time it is like exist as a virtually, but if your task completed, that will be not exist physically, it's like logically. Replace word query. Inside your, you can use replace function if you want to replace some character or string inside your table. Top, dense rank, row number, rank and tile. So these are the functions in which you can find the rows. To display repeated records and to delete repeated records. So you can use group by to display repeated record, like having these records greater than like this. And to delete, you can delete also for that grouping. You can use, there are many ways. If you will like search this question, you will find out the very better answer. Parameterized query and subquery. Parameterized query, in which we are just passing the parameters, but and subquery, inside a query we are using another query that is called subquery. Like if you have two tables, one is employee table, second is salary tables, but both tables contains id. So first table is we are selecting and we are using in where condition id in, and salary table we are just selected like the id. So that is a subquery. CTE. For the CTE, if you select hierarchical data, then we are just using CTE. How to find last identity value? Then you can use scope identity. There are three types of identity, that is current, scope identity, and double attribute identity. Whenever you inserting a data in a table, that time select scope identity, you will get the last identity. But you are performing some update, some insert inside the trigger, that time you can use double at the rate identity. It will access globally. And current identity means that in that function we are just passing the table name and we can get the last identity for that table. Temporal table. This is a new feature in SQL. Temporal tables means whenever you inserting record inside that, it will just prepare your table inserted records history. Whenever you delete it by mistakenly from your data table, that time you can recover the data by the temporal table. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you learned what you want to, like in SQL, what you have to learn and how after that you can correct the SQL interviews. So this is the most common question inside the SQL. If you not subscribe my channel, please subscribe, like, share and comments. Don't forget to press the bell icon to get every updates. If you want to ask some questions, you can write the comment inside the comment box. Thank you guys, thank you so much.